Hi everyone, I'm Margie O'Brien. Welcome to Capital TV. We're bringing you this program from Davies Career and Technical School in Lincoln. The state has invested more than $3 million to improve the facility here. And today, legislative leaders took a tour, checking in on this investment. Ideas becoming reality. That's the theme of the tour at Davies Career and Technical School. House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello, Majority Leader Joe Shekarchi, and House Policy Director Lynn Urbani walked the halls from department to shop to lab to get a taste of what the students are learning.
This is covered and this is uncovered. And then this is covered by metal, which is meant for like stronger projects or different places. So these cannot be used for like places with intense damage or like corrosive environment. But these are used for like apartments or high-rise.
The Electrical and Renewable Energy program shows young men and women learning the trades, up close and hands-on. That's the key to the technical training part of the school, preparation for the future.
There's really two kinds of systems. There's ground mount and then there's roof mount. Yeah. And next summer, or excuse me, next fall, we're going to put solar on that roof over there. Oh, perfect.
The different programs certainly reflect the disparity in the school. Modern solar panels versus machinery from the 1970s. And legislative leaders learned even the structure of the school is considered archaic. But steps are being taken to update and renovate Davies with the state's help. $3.6 million in the fiscal year 2018 budget was invested in Davies, realizing the potential to train the workforce of tomorrow today.
Astro and Ola have been very interested in these students from that perspective because they need electronic technicians.
Students in robotics were eager to show off their creations, robotic cars and cranes.
The House of Representatives has been very supportive of manufacturing initiatives, so it's a good way to train young men and women to enter into the manufacturing field, and I thought it was very appropriate, and it was a pretty easy decision to make.
So what do you think so far?
I'm very impressed. I'm more glad than ever that we invested, and you know, we received a presentation on future needs of this school, and I would certainly be supportive. They've got a great student body. They've got very bright men and women here who are learning things. You can see them eager to learn, working on projects, and basically building young careers.
So the entire goal of this class is to create an ROV using simple materials, PVC, some motors, and it's a challenge to do it because we have a few different things to do. We have to worry about the buoyancy, our motors, our weight, when determining how to do that.
Do you learn by trial and error?
Mostly by trial and error, yes.
And with that, two robots cruise along underwater to the amazement of onlookers above.
You're learning a lot?
Yeah, definitely.
You're going to get these things just right?
Yeah, we're working on it. There's a lot of hiccups, but eventually we can get it.
You learn more from your hiccups than your successes, definitely. Remember that.
Lessons in math, science, physics, all rolled into playing with, well, mature toys.
It's so much different than anything we've done in school or any like shop. It's basically we just gotta focus on instead of just regular walking on ground or moving on ground. You have a whole aspect of water and buoyancy, so it's really fun to add that into the aspect of everything.
How does this propel you into a career?
So one thing that their shop was built for is for the Navy. There's a huge shortage of engineers in the Navy right now. So by working on these submarines, we're trained to work on submarines for the Navy.
It's impressive here. The talent of the people who want to be here, the students really want to learn. There's a thirst for knowledge, and the administration is top-notch. They're delivering a good product. The investments we've made have been wise investments. They're delivering. It's about results, and they're getting results here. It is the future. It is not your father's vocational school or my mother's vocational school. It's the vocational school of today. This is where careers are being done. This is where the technology of the future is happening today. Solar panels, electrical engineering, all kinds of coding and program. This is what we're coming to. The age of the computer, the age of the internet, the age of technology needs this type of education to have an educated workforce and to have a vibrant, healthy workforce to draw companies to come to Rhode Island and help sustain our growing economy.
And this is certainly not your dad's machine shop. Teacher Briar Dacier, who is also a proud Davies alum, was able to secure an additional grant to bring the equipment into the 21st century. He sees it as an investment in the future of his students.
They're from the places where I came from. You know, a lot of my students are from Pawtucket. And Pawtucket, some parts are okay and other parts aren't. And, you know, they're in my old stomping ground. You know, some kids come in with a rough background, and they come in here and they have structure. They're hands-on. They're working with the metal, looking at a blueprint, looking at numbers. You know, so you learn these numbers early on, and then they come into the shop and they're making the product. So they have a lot of fun just kind of being there at the machine, making something that means something. They're making tools they can use for their next parts.
When I was talking to the speaker, I was indicating plunge rod, so I could measure the depth of my hole, because the hole is supposed to be like ½ inch deep. So in order to get it accurate, I measured the pin with the indicator at 0, and I set my Z0 on my machine. So then when I put it in the hole and I remeasure it at 0, it goes down and tells me the depth of my hole. It's hands-on, everything is hands-on. It's not like I'm just sitting at a desk all day doing busy work.
Don't get me wrong, I can lecture all day long, I can, but there's a portion where we do theory, you know, because the classroom is definitely a pivotal, you know, moment where they actually have to apply it, you know, in the theory base, but then they can use that information to go run the machine.
After I graduate, I want to go to college for engineering, well, mechanical engineering specifically.
Lofty goals and ambition, something that is cultivated here at Davies through theory, practicum, and co-ops beginning in junior year. Real experience in the real world.
I'm getting out a lot of the basics that I'm going to need in college. So we work with a lot of bacteria and we look under microscopes. We do a lot of, you know, kind of like aseptic work that you would have to do in a lab. So aseptic work is basically you have to do everything specifically and delicately so you don't have any contamination, because the products you're going to be putting out in a real lab go out to everybody else and you don't want to harm anybody. We're down here doing different things and exploring different things and, you know, just researching and everything like that. We're trained like we're going to be trained in a college and in a laboratory.
The biomedical program has utilized some of the state money, updating equipment and allowing students to tap in to modern science. But they and the administration say more, so much more is needed. There are plans on the table that range from just maintaining the existing programs, which comes with a hefty price tag, to renovating additional wings of the school, bringing them up to code. But ideally, the dream is to build a brand new school.
Does anyone have an approximate cost of the new building, the bond request?
So if we do nothing, Davies, the state, needs to spend approximately $20 million just to maintain the status quo. We've looked at renovations of the existing building. We've looked at additions and renovations, and we're also looking at a complete building replacement. The cost of doing nothing is in the $20 million neighborhood, up to approximately $100 million for a full-blown replacement. In fiscal year 2020, or in 2020, we would be looking for our timeline to request a referenda vote on a capital expenditure and then begin construction in 2021 through 2023 or so. So that's our overall timeline.
I don't have a problem committing the funds. It's just a matter of finding the funds. The state has 3 schools, the Met School, and Rhode Island School for the Deaf, and Davies. Those other 2 schools have brand new facilities, and they're functioning at a very high level, and Davies should eventually get one as well.
So all would agree that investing in the students and this facility would be investing in the future, but the dollar amount for that investment is still up in the air. Thanks for joining us for Legislative Insight. I'm Margie O'Brien. We'll see you next time.